we're going to be going over how to set up your TradingView. I am going to assume you have a TradingView account, as was mentioned in the preface. If you do not have a TradingView account, go to tradingview.com and you can get signed up. It's completely free. There is a premium version and a pro version, which allow you to use the replay mode tool and the seconds time frame, which you don't ever need. You can use it, but we're not going to be going into that. And you can also have multiple chart layouts in the premium version, and a couple other things I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Okay, but for now, you can use the free one if you like. Also, a little tip, around Christmas time, they have some really great deals where you can get the entire year for half the price. And then a friend of mine, he actually does that, and then he cancels the renewal because it'll renew at full price. And then when the time comes around again, he rebuys it for half price. So if you wanted to try that, you can go ahead and do that. But for now, I'm just going to assume that you have, a free TradingView, because everything I'm going to show you, you can do on the free one. If you want to buy the premium one, that's totally okay. So I have the premium, the top of the line TradingView. But I'm just going to create a new layout and pull up exactly what you will see when you hop into TradingView. I'm going to show you how to set this up so it looks proper and nice and organized and neat for whatever you want. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is, okay, so it looks like my favorites are still up here. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the favorites bar. These are the time frames. So there will be a little drop down menu at the top, and you can favorite some of the time frames you want. What you should favorite is the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. Okay, the 4 hour and the 1 hour. And then the 15 minute, the 5 minute, and the 1 minute. That's all you need. Again, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, the 15, the 5, and the 1 minute. Okay, you don't need the seconds. If you have the free version, you're not going to get the seconds anyways. Okay, I hardly even use them. But then to the right, once you've got your time frames favorited at the top, to the right, you're just going to have a candles here. If you like, you can favorite the line graph, and the bars, which is called the open, high, low, close chart. Okay, we're going to be going through this much deeper into the course, so if you want to favorite it now, you can. If not, that's completely fine, as you don't need to. And that's it for the favorites bar at the top. Now the favorites bar on the left side. All of these are the tools that you're going to be able to use. Go ahead and explore, go through them, spend an hour, a couple hours just throwing stuff on the screen, checking it all out. But there's some things that I want you to favorite, because it's going to create a little favorites bar like this. You see this here on my screen. It's going to make a favorites bar that you can use at any time. So right at the top here, these are your cursors. You can select any one of these, it does not matter. Of course, the eraser is not actually a cursor, that's just an eraser, so one of these three will work. Then below that, you're going to want to favorite the trend line, okay, the arrow, the horizontal line, the horizontal ray, and that's it. Trend line, arrow, horizontal line, horizontal ray. That's all you need. There's a lot of stuff in my favorites bar, but you don't need to have all these favorited. Okay, moving down here, what you're going to favorite is the fib retracement. And that's it from that list there. Moving down with the little brushes, you're going to want to favorite the brush, the rectangle, and that is it. You can favorite more. I'm just telling you the necessities that you are going to be using on a consistent basis. Again, that's the brush and the rectangle. Next, where the little T is for text, go ahead and favorite text. And that's all you need from there. Moving down, we need nothing from this list. This is all retail stuff. So we're not going to be using any of this. We have incredible retail traders that are with the company that will teach you how to use this stuff and use it correctly and effectively, but here we're not going to be using any of it. Okay, so the last one, favor the long position and the short position. A long is a buy and a short is a sell. You'll learn, if you know this, that's fine already. If you don't, you'll learn the terms soon enough. It'll become second nature. And that's all you need from there. And then down below it, this is just, you can't favorite any of these, but these are some cool little things you can throw on the screen. All right, you see I threw a little red dot on the screen there. And then a little bar like this will pop up, and this is where you can edit the actual item. So I can choose to delete it. I can lock it. So when I click and drag across my screen, the item doesn't move if I accidentally click on it. You can change the color, change it to green. And then in the settings, not much else you can do with it. It's a pretty basic thing. So you can check those out. There's a lot of cool things you can throw on the screen. And just have fun, experiment with all of this. There's a lot of YouTube tutorials. I'm not going to go through every single tool in this video because it's, you can do that if you like. I'm just going to show you how to get this all set up. All right, so next thing, you're going to have a volume indicator at the bottom. That's what these lines are. Now up here, this is where the actual indicators sit at the top left of your screen. So you can go ahead and hover over it until you see a little X, and then just click that, and it'll disappear off your screen. Now what you also may see is, I'm not sure why it didn't pop up when I opened a new layout, but you'll see little red and blue buttons at the top left of your screen that say buy and sell. If you right click on those, and then you see where it says show buy/sell pane, and then you press that, it will remove it from your screen because you don't need it. It's unnecessary, so might as well get rid of it. So right click and then click on show buy/sell pane, and then that'll get rid of the little red and blue boxes that you have at the top left. All right, so next thing, you should have your favorites bar. You have your time frames favorited. Now we're going to set up the chart itself. Okay, so it's going to open. Let's go back to the candles here. It's going to open in the default format. I have dark mode on personally. So if you wanted to turn dark mode on for you, because yours is probably white on the background, you go to the top left, the three little lines, and then you can see the dark color theme, and you can turn that on if you would like. So if I turn mine off, it probably looks a lot more like yours now. Okay, but if we go back through the little lines again, dark color theme, turn that back on, there we go, we're back to the dark color theme. All right, so we're going to have vertical and horizontal lines going across the background, so we're going to take those off. So right click anywhere on the screen that's not on the candles and go to settings. Okay. Now what you're going to do is go to appearance on the left side, vertical grid lines, select this little checkered box, and then drag the opacity all the way down to 0. And then do the same thing with the horizontal grid lines. Okay, there you go, they're gone. If yours has session breaks, now if you have session breaks turned on, just leave those off. Scales text. If you have a white background, you'll want dark scales text. If you have a dark background, you'll want a light scales text. Everything else in here, we don't need to worry about. You can add a watermark if you like. I don't. I like to have my charts nice and clean. And then right at the top where it says background, you can select a gradient. So you can select two different colors that you want it to fade from. So if I do, red and then orange, that is, I'm sure you can agree that's not a very good choice of background. So if we do two different shades of gray, see this looks much cleaner. You can select solid, and then you can select the background, anything you want. I would select either white or black, or somewhere in the middle of that. Personally, for my dark backgrounds, I have the one just before the end, because the just black is too much. But again, mess around with it, have fun. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do is look at the symbols. Well, the last thing for the chart. Symbol, this is where you can change the color of your candles. Okay, so body, you see on the left side it's all green, the right side is all red. So the left side is the up candles, the right side is the down candles. So if I wanted to change this, okay, I wanted my up candles to be white. I'm going to change all these to white. And then I wanted my down candles to be sky blue. Can change all these to sky blue. And that looks pretty nice. I do like that. Okay. Now one thing you can do is to add a little bit of a border to the up candles here, the white ones. You can find the border and then select the same color as the down candles. And it gives you a little bit more perspective. It's a nice little trick. A little more perspective on which candle is which. You can play around with this. I've done this for hours. I just use the green and black candles. That's good for me. But go ahead and select your colors. And make sure your time zone is on the correct time zone at the bottom as well. So if you're UTC-4, let's have a look here. My time zone is UTC-4. I'm just trying to see if they have the actual area. There it is, yeah, Toronto. So UTC-4, because you don't want to be in the wrong time zone and then get, super confused. All right, so we got the favorites bar at the top. We got the favorites on the left side. Now you have a little favorites bar floating around. You cleared out the background, whether yours is dark or light. You develop your candlesticks so you like the way they look. The last thing to do is go to the watch list and create a watch list. Now, I don't have the default one that pops up for you. Here I've got a lot of different lists here, but I'm just going to go to create a new list. Let's name this list Trident. Okay. So go ahead, create new list, and name it whatever you like. And then we're going to add some currencies to this. So one thing we're going to do is add, before any currencies, the DXY. So just type that in and then press enter on your keyboard, and you'll see it's going to pop up on the right side there for you. Okay, so we got the DXY. Let's add another one. So Euro USD, the most liquid pair on the market, makes up 57% of the DXY. This is the biggest pair in Forex. So go ahead and press enter. It doesn't matter which one you pick on the screen, by the way. They're all extremely similar. I just press enter on my screen, whichever one it is. It's usually the FXCM. If I select that. Yeah, see at the top here, FXCM. So, that's the one it selects. And then you can add GBP USD, enter. And then let's do one more. Let's do USD JPY, okay? Now mine has a little flag on the side here because it's flagged on another list, but you can add flags if you want as well. And one more neat trick is if you want to divide your Forex pairs, so let's say you want the DXY in one divider and the pairs in the other, right click on DXY and then go to add section. And then we can actually rename this section to, let's just name it bias, right? Like your bias in the market, because you're going to analyze the DXY to get your bias on all the pairs. So I can go over that later. So now we have that list, and then let's add another section. Let's rename this Forex. And there we go. It's nice and organized. Okay, so you can add the pairs that you want to look at. You should have the DXY on there at least, and some of the major pairs. There's 7 major pairs. There's Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD, NZ USD, USD JPY, USD CAD, USD Chef, and USD NOK. And USD NOK would, nobody really trades that, so we're not going to go into that, but that is one of the major pairs. All right, one more thing. The last one. We got all the screens sorted out, your TradingView set up, ready to go. We got your favorites bar. The last thing we're going to go into is indicators. Okay, so I'm going to have you add one indicator. If you have the free version, I believe it allows you just one. But at the top of your screen, there's going to be a little FX. Okay, go ahead and click that. And then type in sessions like this. And you're going to have a lot of listings pop up. Select the one by Junior FX Addict. That's the best one. That's the one I use. And then your screen's going to look all weird. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top at the indicator, and then we're going to click on settings, and then turn off Asia, because you don't need Asian session. And then here you can change the color of the sessions, but let's just leave it default for now. And this just tells you what time it is, and we're going to use this information to our advantage later down the line. But if you just want your background to look nice and clean, you can press the little eyeball and it'll hide it. If you want it to pop back up, just press the eyeball again. Okay, so you got your indicator, you got everything good to go. Your TradingView is set up. If you want to spend some time, you want to learn how to add favorites or alerts and all that stuff, you can go to YouTube and they'll teach you all of it. This is just the basics of getting your TradingView set up and nice and neat and organized. And then you can learn some of the advanced stuff yourself from YouTube there. All right, so that concludes this video. On to video 3.